Hello, hello, it is the Trading Captain, and I'm sitting up $106.41. Very nice day today. As you can see here, I only took 5 trades today, so still very conservative in terms of actually putting myself out there, but I was willing to hold longer and trade a bit more aggressive. And as you can see here, I had one really nice home run trade, really happy about how that played out. So before we get into actual moves today, I want to talk about why I sized up today, and why I was willing to punch a little harder. So we had SMX from last week, which had a very, very crazy move. We went from the low $3 all the way up to almost $500. And this really signaled to me that shorts were under massive, massive pressure. And I didn't think we were going to see as much aggression this week. So I was really watching today to see how stocks were holding, how many were moving, how many gappers we were having. And we had very, very great signals. So we had CETX, this one, very crazy move, holding very high. This gave a strong signal initially. We had WVE, another one that moved very, very strong. We had BDRX. On the context of how this has moved, this was very powerful at the time. We had TWG, again, very powerful at the time. It was on the pullback whenever I started watching it, but the fact it was holding at this level, again, very strong. And this was really giving me confidence to really add to the aggression today. Now, to start, I went ahead and traded SUGP. This was one where I was looking for the pullback here. I saw that we were sold off quite aggressively, and I thought this was a little overblown. So I went ahead and took a reduced size trade here for a bounce, did end up catching it. And whenever I saw we were holding here, I was thinking because most of the other stocks were holding, even though this could have been the backside, I was willing to test it with reduced size just because I figured everything's holding up. Let's see how this does. Did end up rolling over, took a loss on that. Not terrible though, because it was, again, only 1/8 size. We went ahead and shifted focus here to GNLN, and as you can see, this one had a pretty nasty rug. However, there were a lot of things that I thought had going for it. So the daily chart, as you can see here, this has been pretty flat. We haven't had a lot of pressure on it, so there's no real huge headwinds on flushing pressure on bag holders right now. And on top of that, we had news that was basically break even, nothing that should have caused a sell-off. And on top of that, we also had a pretty big overreaction, right? After this initial failure, you saw a sudden flush on low volume, right? This is quite low volume. And so I was willing to add into this. And once I saw confirmation, we saw buyers coming in, we saw it was holding at this level. I had enough conviction to add to this. So I added to it here and sold into this pop. Nice $74 winner. So moving on. We had FULC. This was another one I traded, mostly at the end of the day, towards the end of the session here. I saw that we had this double top. Thought we might see a retracement, then a retest for a triple top and a breakout. But I noticed that this was a bit stronger of a pullback than expected. And again, on lighter volume. And as we saw this trend, I saw that things that were breaking down weren't really holding at the lowers. They were typically recovering. So I was willing to take a stab here, and I was able to get a nice little swing here. Sold a bit early, but honestly, I was mostly done for the day. So even just getting a little extra is a nice touch. So really happy with how today worked out. Really surprised to see this much of a shift, to be honest. I thought that the recovery would be a bit slower, but seeing as we are seeing several stocks up 50, 100% movers, I think this is a clear signal that the market could be heating up. So tomorrow, I'm going to be really paying attention to see how many stocks are moving and how many of the stocks today hold up. Right? If the stocks end up rolling over today, that might give shorts some confidence. And so I really want to pay attention to that as well. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up my recap. If you like what you saw here, please do leave a like, helps me out, and I will be back tomorrow. Take care.